Given the current state of the world, it's not surprising that many men don't ever consider marrying as an option. High divorce rates, past relationships, careers, and fear are only a few reasons why many are opting out of marriage. If you don't want to get married but feel guilty for not doing so because of what society, your family, and your friends say, today I'll share with you a few facts that probably won't make them change your opinion, but I am sure you won't feel bad because you're making the right choice. Many folks thought that getting married was the right thing to do because everyone around them ended up at the altar, saying they would love their spouse until the day one of them left this world. All that "I will love you till kingdom come" stories sounds good, I don't deny it, because Disney and Hollywood give off the feeling that marriage is great and will solidify the relationship between a man and a woman. The reality, though, is that after a glamorous wedding and getting into a rut, a huge part of marriages are unhappy, end up in divorce, and, especially men, suffer huge financial consequences. As a MGTOW, let me remind you that it is not my goal or my wish to impose my beliefs because I know you're a grown-up adult and you know better than anyone what's good for you. Now, my advice is simple: do not marry, and here you'll find 3 reasons why. Stay tuned because I will remove any doubts you may have. But before we go deeper, let me share the comment of the day. Shout out to JJ. He said, "Tell me how come we men learned about real relationships and improving ourselves, but women who claim wisdom still don't get it and yet are mostly toxic. Revenge is best served cold, not long to go." JJ, you're absolutely right. Nevertheless, you have done your work. So if most women can't or don't feel like improving themselves, that's their problem. It was wiser to let them be, and as a man, be selective with who you spend time with. Please, JJ, don't forget to reach out to us by email to claim your $5. As usual, guys, I will pick one comment from each video. It may be the funniest, the most liked, or one that touched me, so don't forget to leave a comment and you may be our next winner. Now, back to the video. If you are conscious of your surroundings, chances are you encounter lies every single day and deliberately choose not to believe them. I'm not trying to sound philosophical, let alone ambiguous, so here are 2 examples. The first one is the lie that a college degree is essential to become prosperous. So many individuals go to college hoping to get some supposedly stable, high-paying job after graduating. The reality is quite the opposite, as many people incur huge sums of debt to fund their studies and have a hard time paying it back because that stable job is not that profitable. And that's not only in the US, as tuition fees in other countries are high and many people with degrees have dead-end jobs they don't like. The second one is the lie that you must marry. No one ever explains logically why you must marry someone and be legally and financially tied to someone for the rest of your life. Let's be honest here. People go down this route for the sake of tradition or social approval. I'm sure you know many individuals who practice a certain habit because that's what their parents told them to do. Have you ever heard the phrase, "If anyone jumps off a bridge, would you jump too?" I'm sure your parents said that at some point because you wanted what a classmate had. So they came up with this argument to justify not buying you that thing, a toy, a piece of clothing, or whatever was trendy at the time. After a few days, you ended up realizing that your parents were right. That thing you craved wasn't a big deal and even went out of style. In contrast, chances are your parents haven't told you that since everyone is getting married, you shouldn't do it. The appeal to popularity fallacy comes in and now you feel the pressure of doing as everyone else does. Back in the day, it was okay to be different, whereas now it is okay to be like everyone else? Doesn't this sound a bit weird? This double standard, along with many others, made me think that something about our culture is not quite right, at least on a personal level. If you are in a happy, fulfilling, successful marriage, congratulations, and I hope you live happily ever after. If you're not married yet and still think that getting married is okay, despite the obvious double standards, such as the one mentioned above, let me give you 3 reasons why marriage is not a good idea, and let me tell you that the alternative is quite amazing. 1. You are your priority, not anyone's badge of honor. Let me explain. As you might know, many people, both men and women, don't live worthwhile lives. In fact, around 85% of people hate their jobs, and what's even sadder, most of them don't think of starting a side hustle or getting a new position they would feel happier in. The number varies from study to study, but just keep in mind that most members of society are not happy with what they do for a living, but are enslaved to their job because they have so many bills and debt to pay. And that includes honeymoons, a fancy wedding, a car they bought to keep up with the Joneses, etc. Have you ever heard your parents or even grandparents say something along the lines of, "Make us proud, get a good job, and get married"? That idea might have entered your subconscious programming and caused you to live a life you don't really love. When you're doing what someone else has told you, especially your family, you become a badge of honor for them because now they can show you off. Look, my son has a good job and is married. He's such an admirable man. You might feed your ego when you hear that, but if you don't like your job or your current lifestyle, once you're all alone in your room, you might feel like crying because you've been living for everyone else but yourself. And before anyone thinks this is a cheap self-development advice, I'm not telling you to blindly follow your passion because that's in most cases useless. Only if you solve people's problems will you do great when you work for yourself. See that a lifestyle might be a badge of honor for someone else while you're unhappy? That's what marriage has caused many men to be. Don't be anyone's badge of honor. Put yourself first. 2. High divorce rates. Many studies prove that divorce rates have increased in the last few years. Depending on the study, these range from 40 to 50%, and in general, only 5% of marriages are really successful. Yes, the other 55 to 45% of marriages are not successful but still keep together. Maybe they choose an unhappy lifestyle because of the financial burden of a divorce, because of the fear of what society and family say, because of emotional dependence, etc. Who knows? Multiple reasons to justify their choice. Many choose to marry only because of practicality, meaning they would get tax breaks, social security benefits, adoption, staying in the country, etc. Look that in this case, there's no love, but flat out self-interest. Marrying or even dating the first girl you come across is never a good idea. At first, she might look perfect for you and you might think she's hot and the like. That's fair, but do not let your mundane instincts or your social programming rule your actions. If you end up marrying a girl with a different worldview, just imagine how hard it would be for you two to see eye to eye when educating your kids. Imagine that you marry without knowing her completely, so you don't really know her dark side, which everyone has by the way, and down the road, she comes up with her trauma and emotional baggage from former relationships. In addition, the divorce rate for second marriages gets even higher, so after going through marriage, many men choose not to marry again, which is quite understandable. The consequences of divorce are devastating, such as paying alimony or a huge fraction of your savings to your ex-wife. And of course, once your money comes out of your pocket, you can't really know whether it's spent for the kid or for her caprices. And 3. You're not interested in relationships. You probably resonate with what I've said so far and even think of more reasons not to get married. But this last one is absolutely fundamental, and no matter what society or your family thinks, they must accept that you're a free human being, and as such, you can make your own decisions and do as you like, as long as you do not hurt anyone. Period. Getting married means negotiating, raising children, being in charge of some things you don't consider important, etc. Chances are you simply have the desire to expend energy on other things. Most people who've been in any relationship, healthy or unhealthy, can assure you that it's a very complex task. So listen up, society. Your family and friends should also be able to accept that not everyone values the outcome in the same way. All in all, no matter what you choose, just keep in mind that you must live for yourself as much as you can. Consider the reality around you and remember that as a grown-up man, you should not let external agents dictate what happiness is. If you are single and prefer your life of solitude and time with your brotherhood, that's awesome. I strongly encourage you to build because that's the male imperative, and I guarantee you will be happier than the average Joe and Jane. As always, I wish you tremendous success. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Do you also prefer not to get married? If so, what are your reasons? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember that if you leave the best comment, you will get $5. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video useful, hit the like and subscribe buttons, comment, and share it. See you in the next video. Till next time.